saw this one for sale and I knew I had to have it. Just kind of a cool looking old tractor, and I don't know, just the front end of that tractor just looks cool to me. So I figured, you know what, let's go rescue this thing, because it was just sitting in a barn rotting away. Someone tried to do a little bit of work to it. They put a new seat on it. They did some cosmetic stuff and some electrical, but they couldn't quite get it over the finish line, couldn't get it to start up and run. So you know what, let's rescue it. Let's see if we can get this thing to fire up, see if we can turn it into like a little mower, or, you know, I don't know, just something around here. It'd be cool to have. It came with a mower, came with a box scraper, and I figured, you know what, that's a great deal. So if nothing else, I'll just sell off the implements, recover my money that way, and have this as a piece of yard art if it's just too far gone. But I don't think so. I think we can do something with it. So let's take a look around, let's see what it has in it, and go from there. This tractor is a gas engine. It's got the 4-cylinder Continental engine on it, and I believe these tractors came with either the gas or the diesel version. I could be wrong. I don't know. Someone that knows better than me will probably jump in the comments and let us know, but this one is the gas version. And looking around here, we've got, just noticed, if you can see down in there, looks like we got a little bit of oil or something. Let's see if I get it to focus. Some kind of fluid just kind of hanging out there, so we'll need to look into that, see what's going on. Distributor cap looks like it's seen better days. So he did say he did some electrical work to it. You can see some new parts on here, and this ground cable is pretty shot too, so that probably needs to be replaced. But you have a leak here in a seal, it looks like. Got a little bit of fluid dripping down here, so we'll have to look into that, but it doesn't look to be too bad right now. The fuel, or the sediment bowl here, let's take a look at that, see what we got going on in there. See if we can get that to focus for you. It looks fairly clean. There's some residual. Looks like maybe he tried to clean it out, just kind of wipe it out. There's still some stuff on the side of the glass there, if you can see that. Go look around on the top here. So looking down, we've got the fuel tank sitting right on top of the engine. Hard to see much of anything in here. Let's take a look at the radiator, see what we got in there. Well, it's got fluid in it. Doesn't smell like antifreeze, it's just straight water, it looks like. Well, the front tires have seen better days. I'm shocked that these things are actually holding air. There must be a tube in them or something, I don't know. I mean, there's gotta be. That is just shot. Look at those things. Backs aren't bad though. These are actually really good looking. He said it was sitting outside for a while. Let's see. He was saying it was outside in the weather. It explains the fronts, but someone must have replaced these rear ones somewhat recently. There's still a lot of life left in these. There's not a lot of weathering or anything going on in here. These look good. And someone threw an alternator on there. Looks fairly new. So someone's been doing some work. I did notice we do have, it looks like some oil here. Sun kind of came out. It's hard to get this to focus here now. Let me see if I can get that better for you. No, that doesn't help. Back it out. But there is some oil or some residue there, so that's concerning around the exhaust. So the guy I bought it from, he actually bought a new seat. I think he said he spent about 150 bucks on this thing. Why he put a seat on it without it running, I don't know, but hey, whatever. And that's the mower it came with. And we also got this little Gannon box scraper with it. It only has one of the ripper shanks you can see there on the left, but just need to buy a few more, drop them in there, and that thing will be good to go. There's no cracks, anything on there. Welds all look good, so should clean up good, be usable. And this one's got the 3-point, obviously, and PTO. And Not sure if any of that works. He did have the mower attached to it, so I'm assuming the 3-point probably works. Whether the PTO will spin or not, we will find that out. And oh, he actually replaced, you can see these lights on here, brand new. I think he said he spent about $100 on lights. So you got the rear one and 2 new headlights up here in the front. Oops. Both of these are brand new. So one less thing to buy. But hopefully we can get it to go again. It is just a cool looking tractor, but even if it doesn't run, I'll just park it right here and leave it, and it'll be just a little bit of yard art. So like I said, cool looking tractor. Let's just start with the basics. Let's check this engine oil here. And it looks really, let's see if I can get that shot for you. It's very clean and clear, which concerns me. Maybe a hint of gas in there. Let's see, let's try again. So when I bought it, I checked the oil and it was really dark. Now it's almost like it's got a gas smell to it, so I don't know. It just looks a bit too clear. It is within the range though. It's right between full and low. So we'll leave it in there. At least we've got something to run it. You know, if we can get it to turn over, we do have enough in there. And this doesn't look right. Okay, let me bring you in closer. So I just kind of move that out of the way, the spark plug wire, and yeah, that's an issue right there. We got a broken plug. The others, everything seems tight. That one's loose. That one's tight. Well, maybe it's not loose, it's just got a really funky boot on it here. That one's definitely a problem. This grill right here, you can see there's hinges here. So on the left side, there's actually, it's missing a second bolt up there on the top, but this one comes out down below, and that swings open. And there's our air cleaner there. Got oil level. This one's got an oil bath on it, so we're gonna have to check that. See what that looks like. Radiator looks decent. I mean, there's no physical damage. Maybe in that corner there's a little bit to some of those veins over there, but otherwise it's clean enough. Looks pretty good. So let's pop that open and take a look. Well, it's full. Let's see here. So it's right up to the line, right where it should be. You can see that's right up to the line. Pretty dirty though. So we'll change that out. So we'll give it new oil, but for right now, we're gonna put it back in place just so we can try and get this thing to start up. If we can get it to run, we'll do a full service on it. Gas cap appears to be new. Let's see inside. It's too dark. I'm gonna grab a light. There's no major debris that I can see. There's some surface rust on the bottom, but nothing that's gonna stop us from running that. That looks good. So since there was some wiring going on in here, there's a new solenoid, all new wiring underneath. Let's see if I can show you that. You can see the solenoid there. All the wiring that goes up to the key switch. There's the safety switch. Let's see, where are you? Safety switch right there. All that wiring was redone, and anytime someone does wiring, you just don't know if it was done right or, you know, what they did. This doesn't look bad. I mean, sometimes you can tell when people just did not know what they were doing and it was all hacked together. This doesn't look to be the case, but you never know. So what I want to do is I just want to check. We're going to start tracing this down, see exactly where our point of failure is. I pulled the coil wire out here, and we're going to just try and see if we have spark to our distributor cap first. And if so, we know that the rest of the wiring is all good, and up to this point right here, we need to trace it from this point to the plugs. I'm assuming that we don't have spark, so it could be a fuel issue as well, but like I said, it cranks over, it just doesn't fire and run. So let's check for spark. If all that looks good, we'll check fuel after that. All right, so watch right there, see if you can see the spark. Hopefully I'm not in your way, let me move. Well, we do have spark, so we know that we're good up to this point, which means up to the cap here. Inside, it doesn't look too bad. So we'll keep tracing it back. We're going to check each of those spark plug wires here in a second. In fact, you know, let's just pull the spark plugs while we're at it here. We need to look in there anyways. So I think that's going to be our next step here. Let's take the spark plugs out, see what those look like, and we'll check those and see if we got spark there as well. No spark. So inside the cap here, I could hear a snapping, like electrical kind of popping. I'm almost wondering if the rotor inside is bad or the cap's bad or something's going on, because we don't have spark here. We have spark 2 here, which means it's something here within the cap, the plug wires, the plugs. We know the plugs. We have 2 bad ones for sure. These other 2 look like they should be firing, so it leads me to believe that we've got a problem between these wires and this cap here. All right, I got a little bit of 2000 grit paper here. Let's clean this up a bit. I don't want to use anything too aggressive and create pitting in there, so really fine stuff is what we're looking for. Out inside the cap too. You can see how it's a lot shinier here than there. So could be the problem. We'll see. While we're in here, we'll take a look at the points. We'll go there next if we need to. Make sure we got a good gap. But just judging by the outward appearance of them, they look pretty old as well. So that very well could be a problem. So I'm just going to do that on all 4 of these, take a few minutes, clean them up really good, and I'll bring it back when it's all clean. Got them all cleaned up. Put the cap back on. I'm gonna just, so these other 2 plugs that are still intact, I'm gonna reinstall these all the way, torque them down, and it should at least try to stumble, if not run on 2 cylinders. But first, let's check for spark here. I guess we should do that first. Oh, I saw spark. Did you see that? Oh, yeah, I felt spark. There we go. We're getting somewhere. I forgot to tighten that down. That's not good. I don't want that blowing out and stripping the threads. So we should have 2 good cylinders. Well, I should say 2 good plugs, not cylinders. We don't know that yet. And then we've got 1 good for sure. Oh, look at that. It's running on 2. She's actually running on 2 cylinders. Let's go look. Well, that's a good sign. She actually runs. Very cool. Right on. All right, well, I'm gonna get some new plugs. We'll throw the plugs in, some plug wires, all that good stuff. Let's see if we can't get it to run on all 4 here, and then, yeah, that'd be great. See if we can actually take it for a drive. So let me get some plugs, we'll throw them in there. Got some new plugs. Wire set here. This is kind of hard to track down. Had to go to a couple stores to get that one. These are shorty little wires, so finally found a set actually at Napa, which is nice. And let's just get these changed out real quick. All right, 4 new plugs, 4 new plug wires. Let's see what she does. Uh-oh. That's not a good sign. Let it run for a minute. We'll let it run for a few minutes because it has been sitting, but that does not look good right now. I let this sit again overnight. So the condition of the oil will tell us a lot about what's going on internally here. And you can see there's a new washer around here, and it looks like someone has probably changed this oil out recently. But let's open it up, let's drain just a little bit and see what it looks like. So I got a clean pan down below. Yeah, you can see there's water. Let me plug it up here, we'll take a look. There's something in there. See that milky stuff right there? So we got an issue right there. Well, it's not a good sign. So yeah, you can see the milky substance in there. That shouldn't be there. So we've got some issue, maybe a head gasket leak, something contaminated it. We'll go through, do a full oil change on it, see if that helps it. All right, let's get the rest out of there. There's a bunch of, this one's got a magnet on it, so there is some sludge on here. Not sure if you can see that there on the bottom of this magnet. Or the magnet on the plug, I should say, not the bottom of the magnet. Almost looks a little gray. I'm seeing some, maybe some metal in there. But it's very grayish looking. And I can look in here and I can see a streak of white here. Looks like some more coolant's just kind of coming out. Well, I think that explains our problem. But, so it has at least, what are the hours on this thing again? About 4,300 hours when it stopped working. So this engine has at least 4,300. It has more than that. So even if we pull the head to change out the head gasket, assuming it's a head gasket, we're most likely going to get into the entire engine, I would assume, because of the hours that are on it. So, well, I don't know. We might throw just a head gasket on it and see if we can get away with that, because it's not Not too hard to get to, it doesn't look like. Just remove the fuel tank, and looks like that's about all that's in the way. But yeah, there's certainly some moisture in there. That's not good. So let's drain that all the way. I'm gonna put some fresh oil in and probably just change the filter out too and let that run. Who knows, maybe the oil was contaminated with something else. I doubt it, but we'll try it anyway. Really curious to see what this filter looks like. Well, look at all that sludge. That's nice. Jeez. Look at that. Just looking for anything major in there. It's obviously that's it's been a while since that's been changed, that's for sure. Let's take a look at the filter. There's a Napa filter on there. I think it's a Napa 1010, which is what I got. You can clean out the housing too. Just wanted to show you the nice wad of sludge that's in there as well. Good stuff. So I'm gonna get it all cleaned out and we'll reassemble it here in just a minute. Put the new, let's throw the new filter on real quick. Get that buttoned up again. So I clean this out really well. Make sure the spring stays in there. Pushes the filter up against the block itself. That's important. And reinstall the gasket. Bolt goes through. Button this up and then add some oil, fire it back up, see what it looks like after that. And this oil cap is actually, that's probably original to the tractor. It's not the greatest. It may not have been creating a really good seal, and we could have had condensation and moisture getting down in here, or at least I'm being optimistic about this right now. So we'll see what happens. Let's add some oil. See if that takes care of it. The smoke with a fresh oil change, but not hopeful. With as many hours on the tractor, it's most likely worn rings, seals, head gasket leak, something like that, maybe even a cracked block. Don't know until you actually dig into it. But we'll give it everything we can before we condemn it here. Okay, you can kill it. All right, we got fresh plugs, wires, oil, and a filter on there. So let's start it up again and see if that makes any difference. What do you think? Yeah, I don't think it'll work either. Let's try it though. Well, it started off maybe that it looked a little better at first, but not now. But we'll give it a few more minutes, let that run. I don't know, it does look a little better though. It's not quite as bad. Throttle it up a little bit. It's definitely still smoking. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But it does look a little better. Well, it's been running for about 10 minutes. And yeah, no bueno. Well, it's been running a little bit. That's the result. So it runs, it drives, but it smokes like a friggin' chimney. So I don't know here. I'm gonna have to figure out what I want to do with this, if it's worth digging in deeper to see what's going on. That smoke just doesn't look like it's clearing up at all. I'll let it run a little bit longer, see what happens with it, but it's not looking too great at this point. Who knows? Could be a blown head gasket. That smoke is more of a bluish tint to it that is literally filling up everything out here. It looks like fog now around here. But that looks more like it's burning oil to me. So I don't know. What are your thoughts? What do you think that is? Is that something that we should go deeper in? Is it a head gasket? I didn't see any bubbles in the radiator, so I don't know. Is it burning oil? Could be the rings. Maybe it just needs to run a little bit longer, because it's probably been sitting for many years, and it could have a little bit of blow-by. I don't know. That didn't work. Wasn't too helpful, or I wasn't too hopeful on that one, but After 67 years of reliable service, I don't know, I haven't had it that long, I think she's dead. So it ran for about 30 minutes and it just continued to smoke like crazy. In fact, it actually got worse, and it developed an engine knock after about 30 minutes, so I shut it off. I didn't want to completely destroy the engine because I think we might want to rebuild this one. I haven't decided yet, but I think she deserves a rebuild. So let me know in the comments down below. Should I rebuild the engine? You guys want to see that? I don't know. Let me know. We might do it, might not. So unfortunately, this one did not have a happy ending, but sometimes that's just how it goes, and we might revive it. I don't know. Just depends. Comment down below. So if I get enough interest on it, we'll go ahead and we'll do a video on us tearing down the engine and getting into it and rebuilding it. But it's up to you guys. So let me know what you think. Hopefully you've enjoyed watching, and we'll catch you next time.